Hello, good morning. First of all, I want to know if there's anybody out there. Is anybody listening? Are people awake? Can we have a show of hands? Or if somebody can type really quick, let me know that they're awake, they've had their breakfast, and they're ready to hear another presentation. A lot of people have asked me, since doing FM for 2.5 years, what are the things that I'm actually doing? And it was quite surprising that a lot of people knew when I first started. I was in the Magnolia Club. I worked my way up through the 3, 6, 9, 12% all the way to Pearl. And it's a funny thing, when I first looked at this opportunity in 2010, I often didn't look at the Orchid Club because I felt it was just far too far away. I felt somehow it was quite out of reach. But you know what? It's certain things which I actually did, which I want to pass on to you today. And it really stems on actually just copying what people who I knew were successful were already doing. So I'm going to share a few tricks with you. And this presentation is actually a joint presentation with Pam Stevens. Unfortunately, Pam couldn't be with us today, but she's given me her kind permission to actually share some of her slides on her behalf. I just want to talk to you a little bit about there. I don't know if I've seen any hands yet, but I'm sure you're out there listening and you're waiting in anticipation. Okay. How did it all start, really? As you saw from Amina's presentation, you've got to have that goal, you've got to have that dream. And for me, it started with a vision and a dream. And that's what's kind of really propelled me on, especially through some of the difficult days when I first started. And some people were very positive, but I did meet quite a lot of people that were quite negative. And as you can see, someone's holding up that the glass ball and then looking at the sky. And it's sort of that kind of dream that I have. I actually visualized that actually I could be earning £10,000. I actually visualized that, I could be driving that Mercedes. I actually visualized and live that dream that actually I am rich. I'm already living, even if I'm not there physically, I am there. So my mindset was already set and I was already focused in terms of my mindset, because a lot of things is about how you treat your mind. I knew it wasn't going to be easy, and I knew that if FM were going to pay you loads and loads of money, and obviously you've seen a lot of people in FM, they're living a fantastic lifestyle, driving a Mercedes and going on all these free holidays. I knew FM wasn't going to give this for free. And I knew with all things is that a commitment's going to have to be made. Now, I'm not saying that you have to go to a stadium and climb 200 stairs like that man is doing. I didn't do that. But it's similar to the kind of focus that you have. A commitment is actually doing something and having the love for it and still doing it even though maybe you're not enjoying it that much. A commitment is about doing something even though you may be going through some difficulties. Maybe some people say no, they're not interested in the products, they're not interested in the opportunity. It's about actually carrying on even when times are difficult. And that's what I actually did. I managed to get myself up every day. I'd think about what is it that I can do with FM today. And even though I'm not a physical shop, the shop was in my head. I used to think about, okay, when I go to work, I'm going to actually talk to people during lunchtime. Actually, when I'm going around the hospital, because I work as a nurse, I'm actually going to talk to the cleaner. I'm going to talk to the security guard. So it's having that commitment every day. I knew that as long as I was speaking to somebody about the business every day, I will fulfill my goal. If you work hard, and you work hard enough, there's only going to be one outcome, and the outcome is you actually achieving your goals, and that's what it's all about. Okay, I was taught the 300+1 marketing plan, and for all those who are doing FM, I'm sure that your sponsor, you've heard about this, and this is the basic structure that FM has actually formulated, and it's actually a way that we actually lay our foundation. What FM are saying is that, just in brief, is that all of us as distributors, we do 300 points and we introduce one successful prospect every month. Now, when I first started, I did that fairly okay. Sometimes the person that I would introduce wouldn't be any good, but I didn't stop there. I made sure that I actually introduced more than one person every month. So I'll try and introduce 5 people per month. And I knew then at least out of the 5 people, if 4 of them went no good, I knew that at least one of them would be good. And that's what I did. And each and every person that I introduced personally, I taught them the 300+1 rule. It's a fantastic way of actually building up your business. And just by doing this, you can build a very steady and successful business. And if we introduced 3 if we do our 300 points and introduce one successful prospect every month and teach everybody that joins to do the same, in 13 months, in theory, you will reach the Diamond Orchid level. The trick is, though, is finding the right people. And that's something that I'll talk to you about later on in the slides. I was contacted by an Orchid member. I was fortunate early stages of my doing FM. I was contacted by Lucy Clements, and at that time I was around 3% on the marketing plan, and Lucy was a Pearl Orchid. I remember when Lucy, the reason why Lucy contacted me, she didn't know me, but she saw me on her genealogy. When she looked at her structure, she saw something flashing, and she knew there was someone very busy, very active, selling perfume like crazy, and that was me. Now, Lucy gave me a call, and I always remember when she called me, because at that time I was actually outside, it was snowing, and I was thinking about FM and what more things I could actually do. And Lucy told me that, Fitz, you know what, you're doing very, very well. And she really encouraged me to come along to a business presentation meeting, because at that time I was doing the business, but just doing it and retailing, but I didn't really actually have goals set in sight. And to tell you the truth, I didn't know that there were so many people doing the business and being part of this wonderful family. So I went along to a business opportunity presentation for the first time, and it actually blew me away. For once in my life, I actually felt that I was actually doing something normal, because where I was doing the FM, nobody else was doing it, and I actually felt quite abnormal at the time, but it actually felt good to be part of something. What going to business opportunities does to you is that it instills you with strength. It instills you with energy. And what happens is that when you go to meetings, you're of the same family. And obviously, if you're seeing and meeting with other people who are also doing the same thing as you, and you can see that they're actually striving on, they're building their business, they're bringing people along to the meeting, you gain some sort of energy and strength from that. And that's something that I take away with me. So when I go back home, and I go back onto the public streets, because that's where the sales are done, that's where we meet our people, I use that energy to help me fire up the business. And if I'm feeling a little bit down, the first thing I do is I speak to another distributor. The more that we get involved with each other, the stronger that we'll be. If somebody's giving you a knockback, rather than keep that negativity, speak to your upline. Speak to your sponsor, speak to another FM distributor, and you'll find that actually the people that are most successful, they face the most rejection and they face the most no's. I get no's all the time. Not as many now, but I used to get loads of no's, and I used to face a lot of rejection. But, you know, one thing I didn't do was take it too personally. They're not rejecting me personally, they're rejecting the business, but that doesn't matter. We've got 60 million people in the UK, and out of every 3 people, 1 person's going to love FM, and that's what it's all about. I saw the bigger picture. What is your picture? What is it that you're striving to do? Why are you doing FM? I saw the bigger picture that actually I was getting quite fed up. I wanted to know, is it possible that I can have more time, have the time freedom, but actually get the financial freedom with it as well? Is it possible to actually marry the two? A lot of people, I've been working for 20 years now, and I go on the train and I hear a lot of people moaning about their salary. They're moaning that possibly they're going to have to work till they're 70 years of age, and they're complaining about a lot of things. But the thing that puzzles me sometimes is that people don't often do anything about it, and they're actually just accepting the status quo. And that means they're quite happy just to carry on traveling, carry on doing the same work, and maybe not actually quite satisfied with things in their life. And the reason why we actually stay like that is because sometimes I find human beings, we're a little bit like cattle. We kind of follow each other around like sheep, and we always go for the safest option. And work is a safe option for a lot of people. We know we're working 9 to 5. We know if we do 37.5 hours every week, we're going to get a set salary, even if it's not meeting our needs. For me, I've actually wanted something different. And it's for those people that you need to look for that actually are looking for something different in their lives. Those are the people that we should be actually targeting. So actually looking at the bigger picture should be driving you on every day. Yes, I want the time freedom. Yes, I would like more holidays. Yes, I would like to eat in fancy restaurants. Can I do these things? Yes, I can. That's what the bigger picture is all about. And it's out there for us to actually grasp that. Following the footsteps of success. This business is simple, And it's simple because it's all about duplication. It's about us actually following what other people have done already. When I came to FM, the first thing that I spoke to was successful distributors, and they were everywhere. And I just asked them, what is it that you're doing? And I was told that, look, Fitz, you've got to speak to more people. So I said, fine, I'm going to speak to more people. They said that, you know what, you've got to be positive in your approach. That's fine. So I make sure I'm always positive in my approach. There's no point going out there and speaking to people, hello, are you interested in FM business? And you're speaking with such a down tone and your head is down and there's no buoyancy about you. This business is exciting. It's meant to be exciting. We want to attract positive people. If we are positive and we go out there with a smile on our face, of course we're going to attract other positive people with a smile on their face. Why is it that we've all got the same sample kit? We all follow the 300+1 marketing, but there's such a differential in what we're doing. The only difference is that the people that you see in the Orchid Club, or 21% or 18%, the reason why they're doing well is that they speak to more people. They've got a very, very positive attitude about them. It's very rarely that you'll catch me feeling very down. You're always going to catch me in quite a buoyant mood. You're always going to catch me very optimistic and very positive, because that's what I want to actually project. If I'm not feeling pretty good, then I won't do FM for that day, because I know that that negativity is going to come out of me. So I'll maybe leave FM, but the following day I'll make sure I pick myself up, because I want this business to work. What you should be doing is leading by example. You should be teaching other people in your team to do the same. So what I did a business opportunity in North London because there was no other business opportunity in North London. My team members saw the hang on. Our sponsor's actually not sitting back. He's actually getting up and he's doing what he's meant to be doing. It's not about talking. It's about talking and actually walk the walk and talk the talk. So if you want people in your team to start selling and doing 300+1, you need to also be doing 300 points and introducing one person every month. You really need to lead by example. There's no point telling your prospects, you know what, it's great if you actually utilize the local area, go to your local retail stores, go to the salons if you're not doing it yourself. So what do? On Saturdays, I like to go to the salons. And after I've had a lovely haircut, I speak to the salon owner and I tell them about FM. And that's what it's about, speaking about the business all the time. There's two things that we need to train. First and foremost, we have to look at that lovely lady's smile. And the reason why I put that on there is because that's what it's all about. I find that the smile is the key to opens most doors. When people meet you, the first things that they look at is your eyes and your mouth. And you always want to make sure your eyes are nice and wide open and you've got a lovely smile on your face, because that is what keeps the key open. And it's very, very inviting. When I go out there and I walk into a dry cleaners or I meet somebody at the bus stop, the first thing I do is always smile, because a smile means, hang on, this guy's very pleasant. You know, he seems very open. And I always make sure I have a very, very open posture. Now, brain training. Half of this business, I believe, is a lot of psychological elements based in it. And it's about us having the mental strength. Do we have the mental strength to actually do this business? What are the things are we doing to keep our brain trained? Are we listening to CDs? Are we reading the books? You know, are we looking at videos on YouTube? Because it's about motivation. The reason why a lot of people quit businesses like this, you know, in particular, we're talking about FM, is that a lot of the time they haven't actually readied themselves for some of the things that they're going to face. And the moment that someone says no to them, they think, oh no, I can't do this business. I had somebody at work, they're very negative, and they said no. The things that we should be doing is, hang on, what is it that I'm doing the business for? What is it? Am I passionate about the products? Many times you see distributors who are not using the products. We need to be using the products every day. And today I'm actually wearing FM331. And the reason why I'm wearing FM331 today is because when I smell it, it goes right in my nose and it makes me feel really, really good. We should be doing these sort of things to actually train our brain. I like, you know, looking at other motivational speakers. I do like going to presentations, and I actually feed off other leaders within the FM business. And that's what it's about, training our brain every day, actually storing in knowledge, grabbing knowledge from wherever we can. And the thing is that we learn from each and every one of us. It's not just the Orchid members, but sometimes you may have a new distributor, and I get this all the time, and they come up with new ideas, things which I haven't even thought about. So it's about training our brain so that we're actually ready, we're actually business ready to do the job. When I go outside, There's no way that anybody, I do not allow anyone to penetrate with any negativity inside my head. My head is focused, I'm strong, and I know exactly what I'm doing each and every day. And that's the sort of things that we need to be doing. No to negativity. How do we deal with negativity? First thing first, negativity is everywhere. And first and foremost, I will say we have to deal with our own negativity. If we've got negative things inside of us, or, we've got some sort of bad feelings, I feel that sometimes that can kind of, people get a vibe off people. So that's first and foremost, that's why I always like to have a positive vibe about me, so that when I speak to people say, wow, Uncle, when I spoke to you, I really like the way you presented the business. You seem to have a positive vibe. You're very open about the FM business, and I actually want to know a little bit more. There's going to be people out there that may be a little bit jealous about what you're doing. They may find what you're doing as quite unusual. But you know what? Let them be negative. It doesn't matter. The main and most important thing is that you believe that FM are the best products out there. You believe that our perfumes and our cosmetics and our home range are of the best quality. You have to have that beliefing with you. So whenever time you get negativity, that's fine. If someone says, you know what, I use your perfume, I didn't feel it lasted and I don't think it's any good. Well, I said, well, that's okay, because that's fine. I really appreciate that, but it's quite strange you said that, because I've got about 10 other customers and they've actually said the perfume is very good, and and it actually does last. So maybe it just didn't work for you. And you know what? Even before you let them go, you can always ask them, do you know if anyone else who would like to earn extra income? And so that's what it's about. Do not let negativity get you down. It's part and parcel of life. It's part of network marketing. It's also part of retailing. Customers are allowed to express their opinions, and we have to be able to face them. But the main thing we need to do is to make sure that we're confident and competent in what we're doing, and we're actually passionate about the products that we're actually selling. Trainings and recognition. Training is absolutely most important. I would say for anybody out there, at least attend one training per month. I go to the FM distribution center every week. Some people are not able to do that, but I see at least they go to one thing every month. The reason why meetings are very important in training is that you need to be amongst people that are actually doing the same thing as you, because united together, as we're united, the stronger we are. The more that you're in tune with other distributors, the less isolated you're going to be. If you're the only FM distributor within your area and you're not going to meetings or training, how are you then going to keep abreast with new changes? How are you going to keep abreast with new things which are going on? And then when you're hit with questions or someone comes with negativity, how are you then going to repel that? So meetings are very important because it allows us to share as a common family, a common bond, and we grow from each other. What I've been doing in my team is that we're making sure that we're all pushing each other along month by month, year by year. We've been supporting one another and pushing each other along. And what it's actually doing is that I find a lot of team members are now growing in their compensation plan. They get into the 15%, they get into the 18%. We've got a Pearl Orchid in the team, and we're just supporting each and one another. I speak to a lot of my team members every day, and we talk about the good and bad things about FM. And the reason why we do that is that we're able to ventilate some of those things and actually come up with solutions. And that's all that part of kind of moving along together. Recognition is so important. If you've got team members in your team, do recognize their achievements. When I was starting up in the Magnolia program, I was recognized by my sponsor, and when I was 3%, 6%, 9%, I was told that I was doing very well. And that really helped me, because even at such an early beginning stage of the FM business, to be recognized that actually you started at 3%, that's a fantastic achievement, you're doing very well, it really lifted me up. And I think recognition can really help your team members just move along the marketing plan. I've made it to the Orchid Club, the prestigious Orchid Club, which I thought was elusive and totally out of reach when I first started. It came eventually, but it didn't come without hard work. It didn't come without commitment. It didn't come without the self-belief. It didn't come without the motivation. The Orchid Club is for those out there who are very hungry. I was hungry for change. That's the difference between maybe me and other distributors, is that my hunger is so much that I was willing to do whatever it takes. You hear those words. Let me say them again, just so you can hear me. Doing whatever it takes to reach my goals. Doing whatever it takes to change my life. doing whatever it takes to earn the income that FM are willing to give to their distributors. You see those pictures out there, the Mercedes A-Class, the lovely ladies sunbathing the money. It's not going to come by us sleeping in our beds. It's not going to come by us not speaking about the business. It's going to come by massive action. The business is about taking massive action and taking that little risk. And I'm not talking about financial risk. I'm talking about the risk of possibly just taking one step to the left and coming out of our comfort zone. Do you think you're able to come out of your comfort zone? Those listening, have you able to actually come out of your comfort zone? Are you able to cross the road and speak to the person that possibly you think, hang on, they may be interested? Are you going to stop the lady that's delivering the free newspapers on your high street? Are you going to stop the man outside the tube station who's handing out leaflets? Are you going to ask him if he wants extra income? When you go to Tesco's, are you going to speak to some of the store attendants who are stacking the shelves? Maybe they would like extra income. These are all opportunities, and we do not know where that will take us. So it's about taking that massive action and not being afraid to do whatever it takes to get there. Leadership. Pam is not here, but she's kindly agreed that I can speak on her behalf. Now, this is a fantastic story, really, because it just shows you that the business is actually, it's not just about the team leader. Pam Stevens is a lady that joined my business on my 6th line, so she's quite a little bit way down in my genealogy. Now, Pam actually got to Pearl Orchid before I did, and it just proved that the business is not just about the person on top, it's about each and every one of us. Pam has grown a fantastic business, and she joined late December 2010, and she reached Pearl Orchid in 2011 last year. And the reason why I want to talk about Pam, because she's just the epitome of what I feel a distributor should be all about. Pam heard about FM, and then she said to herself, then what? The then what is then, what do I do? If you've heard about FM and you've joined, what is it that you're going to do? What are the steps that you're actually going to take to achieve your goals? She had a plan B. Pam had a plan B in her mind that actually she saw the opportunity, and these are the sort of distributors that I look for, and they're very few and far between. But if we talk to more people, we can increase the probability of actually getting the people that's successful in this business. Pam is already very successful in her working career and in her family life. And when she saw this opportunity, she grabbed it with both hands. Now, if you've got distributors that you're having to remind them to do their 300 points, you're having to remind them to place the minimum order of 40 points to claim the commission, then have you really got the right distributors in your team? When I first joined, my sponsor told me about the business once and never had to remind me again. I did the rest by myself because I was hungry enough and willing enough to actually take this opportunity and take it very seriously. Okay. I want to talk a little bit about what Pam has achieved. She achieved 7,000 personal points, which is one of the highest in our team for an individual distributor. She's claimed all the extra money from going from 3% up to 21%. She was the first person in our team to qualify for the FM holiday, and she went to sunny Mallorca, and she's come back recently. She received 500 extra pounds for reaching Pearl Orchid. She's claimed the Peugeot 107, and she's driving that now. She qualified for the FM picnic, which was in May, and she's now collecting points for the second holiday. Now, this is one of my distributors in my team that actually seen that actually this is an opportunity not to be wasted. She's actually listened and taken the advice and actually just copied exactly what I've been doing. Pam has just really gone out there and just spoken to the business with about just as any person that she can actually find. The business works on duplication. The business works if we go out and advertise the business. The business works if we teach others to do the same that we're doing. And Pam has proven that the business works because she's followed exactly what I've done in the previous years. What is leadership? Leadership is about setting a new direction or vision for the group. You need to be a leader in this business. You need to lead by example. And the best way to lead is to do what you want your sponsors to do. I make sure that I do my 1,200 points. I'm nearly qualifying for my FM holiday. I make sure that I go to meetings and trainings. I go out there and speak to people on the streets or in salons. I'm doing all the things which I hope that my distributors are doing in the team. I'm trying to lead by example. The same thing here. I'm doing the FM webinar. Personal development is a fantastic thing which FM has really helped to spearhead me. I really wouldn't have thought that I'll be actually doing a webinar today or actually doing conferences and actually speaking. But it's the sort of thing that FM has done. It's opened so many avenues, and that's what FM can do for you. You've got to be able to manage some of your distributors and use the resources around you so that you can instill some key principles and values that need to be established in order to grow a successful business. What are the traits of a good leader? I'm going to let you have a little look at this. I'm not going to read them out. And if you look at some of these things here, you see that these are some of the traits that are actually needed. And in fairness, we use a lot of these in day-to-day life. But these are the things that we should be actually using and showing our team members that actually, if we actually incorporate some of these things, this is what's going to help to develop the business. Having these key principles are really good traits of a good leader. I really like to share and look at some of them. I'm going to pick one of you for you. Role model. I really like role modeling because when people see that actually this guy, he's our sponsor, he's our team leader, and he's actually doing all the things that he's actually saying that he would do. He's not actually just sitting on his backside. He's actually he's talking the talk and he's actually walking the walk. And that's what it's about. It's actually being a good role model for your team. And that's what being a good, honest leader is all about. The marketing plan. Are we looking at the marketing plan? Are we following the marketing plan? Are we teaching our downlines the marketing plan? Are we looking at the income? Have we told new people, new prospects, the sort of incomes that could be generated? Have we told our distributors about the incentives? Have we sat down and looked at the goals and possibly seen what actually people want to do? A lot of the time I made a mistake early on in the business is sometimes I felt that I was actually projecting some of my goals. Actually, it's not all about the Orchid Club. It's not all about money and Mercedes. Some people come along and they just want to do the business just to help people. Some people want to come along and do FM just to do it as a charitable means. Each and every person has got their own different reasons why they're doing the business, and we need to sit down with them, write them down, and look at what the why is. Are we actually utilizing all the products? Are we looking at the home range? And for those who don't use the home range, they're fantastic. We should be buying them and using them in our own homes. Because what I do, I tell my customers that FM home products are fantastic. They're the best home products that I've ever used. And I can say that confidently because I'm using them. Are we giving our home products to our customers over the weekend to try? The best thing to do with something that is new is to let people try. So I often lend out a carpet cleaner. I'll lend out the lime scale remover, and I'll give it to my customers for the weekend and say, look, I really value if you could use these products, and maybe you could give me your opinion when I see you next week. And that's what it's all about. To be continued. Now, the reason why we did the to be continued, and you can see Pam Stevens' email address and telephone number there, is that we had something very, very big in mind. And we've started this journey. It's been 2.5 years now. And as I said, FM has taken us all over the world. And for the first time, we'll be having a conference in Zimbabwe. And the reason why I'm going to Zimbabwe, I've been invited by Pam Stevens, and because of this fantastic lady, we have over 1,000 distributors in Zimbabwe. And we're going to be doing a conference there which will involve training, which will involve recognition, and we'll also be doing sales and selling techniques. We've got distributors in Zimbabwe that are 21%, and they do the same business presentations that we have over here. Now, I never thought that FM would take me as far afield as Africa, but it has. I never thought FM would take me far afield as, speaking at the FM conferences, but it has. I never thought FM would give me the confidence to actually go out there and speak about perfumes and be so passionate about it, but it has. FM has done fantastic things for me, and I'm sure and I hope that it's doing fantastic things for you. Utilize this opportunity, grasp it with every hand. It can be done, but we have to have the passion and the willingness to make it happen. We have to have the commitment to make it happen. We have to have the belief that to make it happen, and we don't have to do it on our own. That's why the sponsors are there. That's why the webinar is here. That's why we have the conferences. Utilize these things because it's all about building that energy. Having that energy and the willingness and desire will propel you forward. And I wish you every success with all of you listening today with your business. We do have time for questions. So please do raise your hands and please do type so we know that you are there. I'd like to say thank you very much, and a thank you for Gediminas and Amina for inviting me today. Thank you.